What is up, pilgrims? It is I, Alex. The boogeyman. Title Boxing of Pittsford with your focus point as we are getting closer to Thanksgiving, which celebrates two sides coming together. There were the English settlers. There were the Wampanoag tribe. They came together, had a great feast, made a holiday Thanksgiving. And this week we are going to work on the two sides of boxing, which are the lead side, the front side, the closest side, and the rear side. If you're right-handed, your lead side is your left side, your rear side is your right side. Now, these are not interchangeable. They're not just the same. One's your left and one's your right hand. No, there are different tactical reasons why we would favor one or the other. And I could go into this for a long time. I won't. But the basic idea is your lead side is much closer to the target. So I can reach that target much faster. It's also maybe harder to see from some angles. The rear side is further away, easier to see, but the punch has more room to travel, so I'm gonna get more power on my punches. They both have different uses. And what we're gonna do this week in our class is we will divide into two parts. The first 5 rounds will be dedicated to being a lead side sniper, throwing multiple punches off the lead side. We're still gonna throw the rear hand. It's not gonna be all left side, no, but we'll throw multiple punches off that lead side, practice reloading, talk about some of the tactical reasons we would do that. And then the last 5 rounds, we're gonna be more of a rear side assassin, focusing on throwing punches off that rear side. Again, we'll get some lead side punches in there too, but it will be mostly focused on the rear side. Now, there are some common mistakes that we see a lot when we do this. Common mistakes. And these are all mistakes that you can make doing anything in boxing. If you're throwing just left, right, whatever. But they become exacerbated when we do multiple punches on the same hand, when we do things like reloads. So here is the first one. This is the most common. And it is actually keeping your weight stuck on the front foot. So when you throw any punch, no matter what, you always want to shift your weight from one foot to the other, just about always. So if I throw my lead hand, I want to bring my weight to my back foot. If I throw my rear hand, I want to bring my weight to my front foot. Whatever punch you're throwing, that's where the weight is shifting. It's very important that we shift and that we reset after we do this. Now what happens, a lot of people will get stuck coming forward because it's much more natural to bring your weight forward than it is to pull it back. So let's say we're throwing multiple lead hands, right? You might throw a jab, and then your weight's still forward, and your front foot hook, I'm leaning more forward. Maybe an uppercut, I'm leaning even more forward. You don't want that. You're going to be off balance, and you're a lot easier to punch, and you're also going to get less power, less workout. So if I'm throwing multiple lead hands, I've got to make sure my weight comes back to my back foot after each of them. That is what we mean by the reload. I'm rotating in, bringing my weight back, forward to load it, back to unload it. Now, strangely, the same problem happens with the rear hand. People get stuck on their front foot on this as well because for the same reason, they don't reload. So let's say we're gonna throw a rear hook to the body and a rear uppercut. What I want to do is I want to get my weight to my back foot before I throw the uppercut. I'm unloading with a punch, reloading, unloading. But what a lot of times people will do is they will bring their weight forward for the first punch and they keep their weight forward. So again, meaning you have less balance, your back foot is off the ground. You can't really see my back heel. We don't want that. We want to make sure that you're always shifting weight back and forth between the foot. You don't want to keep your weight stuck on one foot for multiple punches. You want to be able to, even if it's very fast, load and unload. So let's pay extra attention this week to where our weight is shifted. If you find that most of it's on that front foot, that's not good. Try to practice resetting. Try to practice bringing it back. If you find your back heel is off the ground the entire time, see if you can see my heel here, like if I'm punching and my back heel is always off, again, that's not good. I'm losing out on a lot of power, balance, it's harder to move, everything. So practice making sure that I'm getting, when I throw that lead hand, I'm getting my back heel down. Now another problem that again is very common in boxing, but it gets exacerbated, I like that word today, exacerbated when we throw multiple punches on the same hand. It's being too stiff, being too tense when you box. You have to be loose. It doesn't mean you don't throw punches powerfully, but you've got to be loose when you throw those punches, especially if it's multiple punches in the same hand, because you have to reload very quickly. So I don't want to be, if I'm all tense and stiff and I'm like, hook, uppercut, it'll take longer, and it also will burn unnecessary energy that doesn't help me at all. Instead, I want to keep my arm super loose. So I'm still going fast and explosive, but I'm trying to keep that shoulder in particular very loose. So practice trying to stay loose. Occasionally, maybe shake those hands out, step back. Again, try to think loose, carry your weight nice and low. You'll actually be able to punch faster, and believe it or not, even harder as well. And then finally, again, exacerbation. When you're throwing multiple, so every time you throw a punch, right, your non-punching hand should be covering your face. Always, always. You don't want your hands dangling around. What I see a lot, and I've done this too, is that one hand starts to come away from the face as you're punching. So let's say I'm going to throw a jab, lead hook, lead uppercut. My rear hand is down here because maybe I'm going to eventually throw the rear hand. So maybe I throw a jab, hook, uppercut, and then I'm going to throw a rear uppercut. But it's very natural to try to drop your hand to put it into position. I'm throwing all these other punches. I'm just getting my hand ready. But you don't want to do that. You want to keep it dutifully by your face up until the point when you are delivering the punch. That's the only time it can drop, when you're delivering that punch. So again, it doesn't matter what side it is. You don't want that hand to start dropping in preparation for a punch. You want to keep it right there until that punch is ready to come. And even if you're throwing multiple punches on one side, don't let it move your non-punching hand. That's what we're going to work on this week. Is this going to make you better? Is this going to make you stronger? Is this going to level up your boxing game? You bet your sweet bippy it is. Oh man, that is a terrible John Wayne impression. Most people don't even know who that is, so it doesn't matter anyway. But as far as boxing goes, that is how we do it.